This other NDIS provider ate up all my funding. This is a really common thing that people say, and one of the reasons this happens is because of poor budgeting and miscommunication between providers. So here's how you can stop that using this free NDIS calculator, which is actually just an Excel spreadsheet. Sometimes what happens is you're a few months into the plan, you start to see this new provider. If the new provider doesn't pay attention to the services you're already engaged with, then they can end up overspending the fund. To stop this from happening, you need to know how much funding this new provider can use. And to figure that out, step one is you need to find out how much total funding you have available. If you're not sure how to do this, then that's a future video that I'm going to go through. But let's do an example here. Let's say your plan ends in January 2026. And then you've got 26 weeks left until the end of your plan. You find out you've got about $8,000 in your capacity building funds. At the moment, you're only seeing an OT and a speech therapist monthly. And then you need to get a physiotherapist involved. You'd like them to get involved fortnightly, but you're not actually sure whether you've got enough funding for that. So step number 2 is figuring out how much your current services are going to cost until the plan end date. To figure this out, you can just ask your service provider, but just to be sure, you can also estimate how much they're going to cost. You can put in some of the important details over here, and this will give you a total quote. Without seeing the new service provider, they'd be originally costing you about $5,900, so about $6,000. If you had $8,000 in total, that would leave you with $2,000 of unused funding. So now you know that you've got $2,000 to play around with. You can now use this part to figure out how often you should be seeing the provider. So if we click monthly here, you've still got $500 unused funding. But then again, once you factor in for the non-face-to-face services they might use, and then 2 hours for the report, then you'd have $150 of unused funding. So you can confidently say that this physio shouldn't see you more than monthly. But another way of doing this is actually figuring out how many sessions $2,000 will get you. So if we click on this part of the spreadsheet, let me move myself out of the way. You plug in the same details, today's date, plan end date, and then you've got $2,000 to play around with. This is going to tell you the service provider has 6 sessions to use between now and the plan end date, which is 26 weeks away. If your plan isn't split up in that 3-month funding periods, it means they can probably use up 4 of the sessions in the first 2 months, just so you and your support workers can get set up properly. But if you do have to spread out the sessions, then you can follow the recommendations here. If you want a copy of this Excel sheet, the link is in my bio, or you can just message me asking for it.